little freedom to walk around a little bit. Afternoon, everybody. Thank you, and thanks to the Everglades. Love the Everglades movement. I'm from Stuart, Florida. I do have a long love affair with the Everglades, and it started when I was a 4-year-old boy. Moved here from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Another Pittsburgh person, all right. My folks moved here in the middle of the summer. In 1963, I lived on 102nd Avenue, right up the street on the Tammy Trail. I used to ride my bike to this very spot. The first summer was kind of grueling. My mom told my dad, by July, you're getting central air conditioning next year, or we're going back to Pennsylvania. It was tough, and thank God Dad got the AC unit. Otherwise, I might not be here today, and I'm happy he got the AC done, and we're here. Anyway, a long history of the Everglades. I fished all these canals. I caught my first bass about 500 yards from here in a canal, right on the intersection here. So I go back a long way with the Everglades, and I love this area. I moved to Stuart in 1999. With my job at Florida Sportsman magazine. And we reported on the situation in the Everglades quite a bit. I wrote a lot about conservation, wrote a lot about the Everglades issue. I moved to Stuart with full knowledge that that estuary was hammered repeatedly with LACO discharges. But it wasn't until 2003 when I saw it for myself, and I was just bewildered about how a small community could be pummeled by such toxic water. And I have a video here which might give you a little idea of what we deal with up in Stuart.
Captain Mike Connor, charter guide in Martin County, Florida. I've been here nearly 20 years. I've seen a lot of events like this. I hope you can hear me because it's deafening down here. You're looking at 4.7 billion gallons of nutrient-laden polluted water coming from Lake Okeechobee and other ag lands west of our county and north of the lake. This is decimating the St. Lucie River estuary and the lower Indian River Lagoon. 2013 may be nothing compared to what we're going to face this year, I'm afraid. Our rivers has to recover from 2013, and now we're getting all this water diverted here because we cannot send it south to the Everglades. We need projects in the ground designed to hold and convey water south to the Everglades and Florida Bay, which needs it very badly. This may be the death knell of our estuary. Our elected officials need to move on this. It's been 20 years of promises. We need help right now. We need you to get on board. Bring your winter visitors here to see this decimation. Get on board and get information from our Facebook page, Anglers for Everglades Restoration or bullsugar.org. Please look at our pages and our sites and learn more and jump in to help us out. We need to stop this once and for all. This is an emergency. Emergency that all Floridians should come to aid of. I hope you'll help us out.
Well done, Mike.
Thank you.
And that's daily life where I'm from. And the Caloosahatchee River on the west coast, they see 4 times the discharges we do. Both of these coasts, both very valuable estuaries, economic engines, they really are pummeled by this water. And the system is working as designed. That's the shameful part of it. It's working as planned to keep the Everglades agriculture area dry south of the lake when the lake dike was built. Long and short of it is, this is serial pollution. It happens over and over and over again. I've been in Stuart 20 years. I've seen 7 of these episodes. 2003, the next slide you'll see on the top, the left image, one back for me, Houston. The left image is a picture taken 5 days ago. That's at the S80 locks. That's where the C44 canal, also known as the Okeechobee Waterway, empties into our headwaters of St. Lucie River. The media has been really fantastic. We've had worldwide media in our town with the terrible toxic algal blooms. It's kind of calmed down a little bit. The algae is not as vivid now, but it's by no means over. To make sure, right now we're getting a second slug of algae. Our locks are again open today. We're getting some 500 million gallons a day, which is really not that much compared to what we've had. We've had as much as 7 billion gallons a day. On the right side, that is a picture of a boat ramp. That algae bloom was not from this year, it's 3 years ago, and that boat ramp is not even a half a mile from the St. Lucie Inlet, that close to the ocean. And this year, if you're following the news, the algal bloom went onto our beaches. The first time that has ever happened in Martin County. And of course, the media was there, and the word is out, and we're going to get hammered by the lack of tourism next year. I'm fearful. I'm a fishing guide. I have part-time living fishing, and I will tell you that I've lost so much money this past summer, and now the word is out. But you know, when you have toxic algal blooms with cyanobacteria, they're not only harmful to marine life, but now they're a human health hazard. You don't take people on your boat fishing. For that matter, they don't come back to go fishing. For many years, it was kind of a wash. People would keep their mouths shut. The businesses in town didn't want to let this news out, didn't want to publicize this. But at this point, it's all a wash because the word is out, it's harmful, it's It's terrible for our fishing, and there's no hiding the fact anymore. And again, the system is working just as planned to shunt the water here. We know the science is in. We have good science. We know at bullsugar.org, and most of you probably know, this is a political problem. Strictly a political problem. It's going to take political solutions. University of Florida Water Institute came forth with a report that our own legislature commissioned 2 years ago for a high cost, by the way. They spent a lot of money on this study. It came back with the recommendation to include EEA storage in the overall plan for storage north and south of the lake. We're happy to see that, yet it's being ignored. If you know what 207 scientists looks like, it looks kind of like that, okay? 207 scientists, independent scientists, not on an agency, not being paid salaries by the district, not being paid salary by the Army Corps of Engineers. Independent scientists who know this EEA land must be bought, must be used for water, storage, cleaning, and conveyance as soon as possible. We stand to lose this whole ecosystem. The water we get on the coasts that destroys our estuaries is the very water that Florida Bay needs. Florida Bay is water starved, it's hypersaline. As we speak, 60,000 acres of seagrass in Florida Bay have died. I think that's a slide right there. That is an algal bloom. That's not current. That's back in 1992. That's a slide I took. I scanned it for this program. That is a total algal bloom out in front of Flamingo. It was miles and miles and miles of this water. And it killed the fishing down there. It hurt the economy of the Keys. Even commercial fishing, sponges died. Crawfish, everything was trashed. It was terrible. And right now, the fear is we're going to have an algal bloom of that nature, hopefully not of that scope, but it could happen. Next one. Okay, social media revolution. It's been a blessing. Bullsugar.org started as a blog about 2.5 years ago. Since then, it's become a Facebook page with 190,000 followers. We have a website. We know social media is the key to get the word out, and really our politicians are fearful of social media. It can be a great friend of theirs, it can be an enemy, because it can bite them if they don't do the right thing. So our followers are very, very adamant, very enthusiastic. That's the top of our page there. And we're posting this week, we are actually getting the Now or Everglades declaration out to not just everybody in the room can sign our declaration. It's a simple declaration. It calls for the state of Florida to finally come on board with the federal government and buy the land in the EAA with Amendment $1.
There we go. Buy the land.
We are now putting out endorsements for politicians. Our declaration's been signed by about 80% of the legislators we presented it to and their challengers. You know, anybody can sign a declaration at this point in time, especially a politician, but if they sign the declaration, it's a pretty good sign that their heart may be in this thing. At this point, I'm happy to say I'm not happy to say the governor will not sign the declaration. He's been presented the declaration twice, once by me and once by another staff member. Patrick Murphy, who's running against Marco Rubio, has signed the declaration, and that's a big deal. But we have commissions that are signing. Our home commission, each commissioner has signed it. We're approaching Miami-Dade, we're approaching Broward County, we're approaching Palm Beach County, all commissions about this declaration, see where they stand. We had press conferences this year. We got the word out. We had a big press conference for our economy, letting the governor know we're losing money. We're bleeding money where these discharges happen, both in Lee County and in Martin County. And this time of year, your mailboxes are just full of these flyers. Your TV channel, every time you turn around, you have another advertisement. But you have to determine which one of these politicians are really green. Every flyer in my mailbox from local legislators has pictures of the algae bloom. And in fact, they're just mortified by it, and they're going to fix it. But we don't know that. We don't know that. We have a declaration, hopefully they sign it. But it's a matter of doing your research and checking out voting records, check out their history, and find out whether they truly vote for the Everglades. Our declaration's got great support from corporations and NGOs all over the world. The biggest NGOs in the world have all signed on. And all the corporations you see here, that was from the ICAST Sport Fishing Trade Show in Orlando. These companies know their bottom line is invested in the Everglades watershed. This is the sport fishing capital of the world. Florida likes to tout that title, but they're not living behind it right now. The governor is not living up to it. But these companies know that this estuary, the Everglades watershed, over 70% of tourists that come to Florida to go fishing fish within that watershed. So it's a huge economic engine. So from here forward, Bull Sugar, we are going to expand our membership. We want to distribute more of the declarations in the next 2 weeks. And again, if you go to our Facebook page or our website, you will see our voters guide. You will see our endorsements. And finally, this is a video that was produced by Costa Del Mar. It's a really wonderful piece of animation. I hope you enjoy it. It was narrated, I hope we can play it, Houston. I hope we can. It was narrated by Flip Pallett, a legendary angler, and we hope it will play for you.
Dear Florida,
There we go.
when I was a boy, you were paradise. Endless beaches, crystal clear waters, the scent of orange blossoms in the air. You gave us all the fish we could eat, all the clean water we could drink, as we watched it meander south from Lake Okeechobee to the Everglades. We didn't understand your ebbs and flows, how the two come together to maintain life. The water needed to flow south, south to where the river of grass could thrive from it while purifying it, south to where the aquifers could drink from it, south to where it belonged. When I was a boy, you had a plan, but in our ignorance we made our own. We built ditches and concrete canals to lead the water out of here to the east and the west. Drunk on progress, we dried up your precious river of grass and laid a patchwork quilt of sugar plantations at your Great Lakes feet, slowly soaking your soil with fertilizers and pesticides. Our poisons let invasive species thrive that had no business doing so. And so we tried different poisons. We watched as our septic fields leached sewage into your waters, feeding toxic algae blooms. Watched as fish died by the thousands. We made fresh water salty and salt water fresh, with dire consequences. The water needs to flow south. So we're here to tell you that we're ready to change, that we have to change. We must return the flow of the water, reclaiming the lands south of Lake Okeechobee to restore the river of grass. We must find alternatives to poison. We must update our infrastructure to keep sewage from your precious waters. Because our future depends on you, and your future depends on us. If we lose you now, it will be simply because we allowed it to happen.
In closing, folks, thanks very much. I get tired of talking about the good old days in the Everglades. I'm turning 60 this year. My first year in the Glades I was 4. I'm tired of talking about the good old days in the Everglades. Let's all work hard and produce some good new days in the Everglades, okay? Thank you.